Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. Welcome to Morning Coffee. I am Adam Mokelke, your principal. Glad to have you on this fine Wednesday morning, the 17th of March. We have a great morning coffee lineup for you today. Good morning, Mrs. Beyondich. With me, as always, my trusty co-host, our admin assistant, Mrs. Beyondich. How are we doing today, Sylvia?
Good morning, Principal Mokelke. It's going to be a great day. We're all here in school, both of us together. I can hear you from across the hall. I'm super excited for today's show.
I am doing morning coffee from my real office, not my home office. So it's nice. All of our staff is in the building and we are preparing and working on returning to in-person learning. It's going very well. I do want to share that Anchored STrEAM Academy empowers students to be involved learners, critical thinkers, and engaged citizens who are inspired by the natural world. I also want to add to our opening of morning coffee an acknowledgement that our schools and our school district and our city reside on the lands of the Dena'ina Athabascan people, and we are humbled and honored to walk these lands and to be good stewards of the land. Our agenda today will share some upcoming items and important events, updates on what's happening at STrEAM Academy, of course. We have an update from our 501c3, our nonprofit, on our fundraising initiatives. We will talk, as always, about our plans for the fourth quarter, how we're launching into fourth quarter, but at the top of the agenda shortly here, because we don't want to keep our esteemed guests waiting to present, we will get quickly to two principals who are joining us today from two awesome, incredible ASD programs, Steller and Highland, and they will talk about their programs for our 8th graders heading into high school, what their options are, what those programs look like. I'm really glad to have these two programs featured today because they are two of the top programs we recommend to our 8th grade families in terms of where to look and where to go next. Mrs. Bonertz, our counselor, set this up and will facilitate our guests and this discussion, and she'll also touch base on PEAKS testing. We will have PEAKS testing coming up. Some upcoming events and dates for you to remember. Our spring fundraising event, we'll touch base on that today. That's important. Our 501c3 meets tomorrow. And also the online lottery closes tomorrow. So if you hear some incredible things from Mr. Whitmore and Mrs. Johnson about their programs today, you're gonna wanna get on the lottery right away and apply for a seat at those programs because the lottery will close at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Next week we have, on Morning Coffee, we have two really cool features. We have our 8th grade project presentations, and we also have a local Anchorage author named Dante Medema coming on. I've read her book. My daughter read her book and loved it, and it's called The Truth Project. It's really cool. It's written in verse. The whole book is written in verse. It's a young adult, appropriate definitely for our 7th, 8th graders. Really good. So we look forward to having Dante Medina on next week. All right. We want to quickly turn it over to our counselor, Ms. Bonertz. Good morning, Ms. Bonertz. Would you like to say a few words about our guests and the programs and then introduce our guest speakers today?
Good morning. Yes, we have, I can see that we have a Steller student, Rye. All right, it's here to give us some insight of what it's like to be a student at Steller. And as many of you already noticed, Mr. Whitmore is here for Steller, the principal as well. And I don't see Miss Johnson yet, but hopefully Miss Johnson will be joining us from Highland here shortly. So yeah, so I will let the Steller folks take it away.
I'll start off and be done quickly. Thank you for having us. We have two Steller students here, Rye and Alana, and what what we need probably is a cap, because they are proficient speakers and they know more than they take all day because they love Steller, and Steller's an amazing place. So why don't you guys take it away, and thank you for having us. And I'm just going to listen.
Is it okay if I screen share a quick slideshow?
Yes, allow me to make you power. Hold on one second.
Oh, good, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, well, we are working on that. Hello, everybody. I am Alana. I'm a Steller Secondary. I've been going there for the last 5 years, and I absolutely love it. And our other students, Rye, if you'd like to introduce yourself, Rye.
Hi guys, I'm Rye. I'm a sophomore, and I've been going to Steller for 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so to start off, what is Steller? I'm sure a lot of you are aware we are a school of about 300 students in Midtown Anchorage. Our key philosophies are kind of an open learning environment for students, and then also allowing a responsible freedom environment where students are responsible for being on top of getting their work in to their teachers on the due dates. That's different from a traditional school, because at other schools, sometimes teachers will hound their students to get their work in, where at Steller, you need to be in charge of it yourself. So it is really an environment where we need individuals to be independent, even from 7th grade, although 7th and 8th grade is kind of a learning block for them. Definitely for incoming freshmen, they're going to need to be on top of their work. It's also student-led. Students are incorporated into pretty much any important decision going on around the school. Our student government is completely student-ran, with some staff members attending as well, and they're also they're in charge of running all the clubs and facilities at the school. And then also are welcome to come to our PTA, which is called Parent Group at Steller, meetings as well, to be a part of that. We do run on a first name policy, so all of our staff members, we call them by their first name. They call us by their first name. There's no Miss or Mr. So-and-so at Steller, to allow for a more personal environment. And then on lunch, we do have off-campus lunch if it is okay with your parents to go to local businesses in the area to go get lunch, because we do not offer a lunch program, sadly, at Steller, but we are willing to work with families to try to figure that out.
All right, next up we have electives. We have one language that you can take, and that's Spanish, and we offer Spanish 1 through 6. You can start as a 7th grader, and it's offered up into high level Spanish. And then we got PE, so that's pretty straightforward. Just normal PE classes, I guess. And then we have band and orchestra first period. So that's a really cool opportunity. Our band has been doing really well. We've done really good in some competitions around Alaska, actually. And then we have our more rotating electives that we have, like science electives and just normal stuff like that.
Yeah, extracurriculars. Steller has a lot of clubs. Some clubs are there to stay, like our technical productions committee, which is the club that's in charge of running music and lights at most of school events. In other clubs, they change throughout the year. Sometimes we'll have a guitar club for a semester, and then we'll have a chess club, we'll have a soccer club. Basically, if a student has an idea for a club that they think other students would be interested, they can propose it to our student government once they find a teacher sponsor, and start it on their own to run however many days a week that they want to meet. We also recently started a National Honor Society chapter at Steller, which is open for applications for 10th through 12th graders, but anybody is welcome to come to meetings and volunteer with us. We have quite a small National Honor Society with about 14 or 15 students, but we do love having younger students join as well. We have gym hockey. Although Steller doesn't offer sports, we do offer gym hockey when it's not COVID times, which is a very fun team building exercise that kind of, I would say about 50% of the school participates in gym hockey There's usually about 7 different teams, and we all get to play gym hockey together, and even the staff participate. Reed would know that, he's on a gym hockey team. And then we typically have a dance about every quarter, sometimes 2, that are also put on by students. We have to do all the planning for that.
All right, so Passages. So Steller has this really unique program called Passages, where students create, like, if they're interested in something, students create this this basically like a course for themselves. Like, I built a cabin in McCarthy, which is in remote Alaska, and that was my passage. So I had to do all the planning and all the research for it, and it's really self-directed. And then you meet with your advisor and your peers, and then have a passage share, which is what that image is down there. And there's a bunch of different options. Like, you have to do 3. That's graduation requirements, actually. So you have to do 3 passages, and one of them has to be a community service passage, which is part of the 7 different types of passages. Like, that include what are they like? I'm totally spacing. Alana, do you want to give some types of passages?
So community service, career exploration, adventure, creativity, logical inquiry. Why am I blanking on the 2 other ones? Reed, can we get some help here?
Absolutely not, because I have to look at a piece of paper too. But basically it comes down to kids have in recent years have designed sailing trips around Great Britain with their family and had to do all the work, to building go-karts, to writing books, to producing music. So it fits all the areas there and I like it because they meet with a teacher once a week and they have some direction and they get small goals, but you can really risk and fail. Some of the best passages haven't really, where kids think they're going to write a program and make money for gaming, for instance, and then they end up learning about how much there is to gaming. And so it's a safe place to really work hard and do well and yet not succeed, kind of almost like true scientists.
Yeah, thank you, Reed.
Yeah, so moving on, Steller also offers this really cool program called intensives, which are typically held at the end of each semester for 2 weeks. We intensely study something else, and it could be wilderness first aid, it could be a travel trip to London. We've had intensives basically on anything. We've had some on martial arts, on robotics, and other programs as well. In some of the photos you can see, this one down here was a wilderness first aid intensive that we took out at Eklutna, where we learned about the plants and animals in Alaska that are safe to eat, and then also what to do in certain situations where you cannot get medical help very quickly. And then these 2 photos here were from a trip last year that I believe about 14 Steller students went on to London right before COVID happened. We've also had students go to Ecuador, Florida, and many other places around the world. And then we've also had backcountry skiing intensives and maybe a chess intensive. And intensives can also be co-taught with students as well. If a student has an idea for an intensive, they can bring it to a teacher's attention and help make it happen as well. Steller also in the past has offered other travel opportunities. For instance, these 2 photos down here, we've done role exchanges with certain programs around the state, allowing students from other schools to come to Steller for a few weeks, and for Steller students to attend other schools for a few weeks. And that's what I have on travel intensives and travel opportunities. Rye, do you have a little bit to add?
I saw Reed might have had his hand up. Reed, do you have anything to add?
You're muted.
We're at a coffee situation and we're dominating their agenda. And so we really need to wrap this up. I think what I'd like to say is that we have an op group that the kids run the school, and everything we spend money on, and from the kids' budgets is voted on by the whole entire school, including the painting on the walls. And we really have it's a little bit like STrEAM in the sense that we try to get project-based learning going up and to get trained for these intensives. And so that's why students from STrEAM might really fit well, or they have fit well at Steller. So guys, just have one more wrap up sentence and you did a great job. Thank you.
Okay, last thing for me. Steller doesn't offer sports, but you are allowed to take them at other district schools at your home school or at Rominger West.
All right.
So if you'd like, give me a call at Steller, and I'll put you in touch with kids or families if you're interested. So please get on the lottery. Thank you, Adam.
No problem. That was outstanding. Students, Alana and Mr. Allright, you guys did an incredible job. Rye, thank you. Great job. Thank you so much. Steller is an awesome program, and I think a really great fit for STrEAM students who have really engaged in our mission and vision and had a great experience at STrEAM. I think it's a great program for you to transition to. When those students described their passages and those things that they did, they're describing project-based learning. They're describing our driving educational philosophy at STrEAM Academy at the level we'd love to see project-based learning get to where individual students design these really cool real-world projects, and they have to research and build and design and trial. You know, Reed said that the trial and error, that sometimes in projects, you know, failing is good. You learn it more from failure than you do if it goes, you know, super easy for you. So that was awesome. Reed and Lana and Rye, thank you all so much for sharing with our families about Steller. And remember, the lottery closes tomorrow. So if you're a STrEAM 8th grader, parent of a STrEAM 8th grader, and you don't have an application to the lottery for Steller yet, you're going to want to get on that right away. Miss Bonertz?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. And Alana and Rye, if you were talking to one of our 8th graders, what would one thing you would say to try to sell Steller to them? Like, what's your favorite thing about Steller?
For me, it would definitely be the community that Steller fosters. I came from a really rough background before attending Steller, and it really gave me like a second family of people that like genuinely believed in me. And although I started at a lower math level, they really helped me grow as a student. So
that's awesome.
Actually, that's basically what I was going to say too. Like, you can really be yourself at Steller. You don't have to like fit in because everyone's kind of like that. So that's what I was going to say too, the community.
That's great. Thank you. All right. That was Steller. And we encourage you, like Mr. Principal Whitmore said, we have STrEAM students who've gone on to Steller and they do really well. We think it's a real natural fit and transition. The other program that we wanted to feature this morning is a charter school right down the road from us called Highland Academy. Highland also has 8th through 12th grade. Mrs. Johnson was scheduled to join us, but she had something come up because principals have things come up sometimes, and she's not able to join us. She apologizes for that, but we always recommend Highland as well as Steller. Highland's a great program. They are very individual, standards-based program where students progress through standards and through each level at their own pace and at different paces. They're a small school as well. They're a tight-knit, close community and a real positive school culture and school community like Steller and like STrEAM. So a lot of our families are, you know, our big neighborhood high schools are awesome. And we have students go to East and Bartlett especially and do very, very well. A lot of our families are afraid of those really big, you know, I would be too, to go to a school with 2,000 students. I totally understand that. They're incredible programs. A lot of our families don't want to go to a program that has, you know, that size and that's just overwhelming, probably because for a lot of our families, they never have. A lot of our families have homeschooled, they've gone to other small schools, other small programs, and then to STrEAM, and they're looking for a smaller, you know, close-knit family community type school. So Steller and Highland are both great options if that's what you need, if that's what you're looking for. Thank you, Ms. Bonertz, for bringing us Steller today and for bringing on in past morning coffees these different options for our 8th grade families. It's really cool. Is there anything you would like to add, Ms. Bonertz, about these programs today while we're talking?
You know, these programs are amazing, and you know, education is one of those things where not everybody fits into this box that education oftentimes is, and so Highland and Steller are really great opportunities for students and families to have that smaller community and that project-based learning and things like that. And the lottery does close today or tomorrow. And so, you know, get your names out there and, you know, start narrowing down where you want to go, because time's ticking, 8th graders. Thank you. Oh, do you want me to talk about PEAKS testing, Mr. Mokelke?
Yeah, I think that would be, are you seeing, is your slide back up that has Counselor's Corner on it, Ms. Bonertz?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Mrs. Beyondich, do you have something first?
Andronelle Brown, our APC chair, had her hand up.
Let's go to Ms. Brown, the chair of our APC, and then we'll go back to Ms. Bonertz.
I just wanted to say that not only are Steller and Highland great places and often a great fit for STrEAM students, that those schools really do practice what both Rye and Alana talked about in that building that community. Both Principal Reed and Principal Johnson supported STrEAM when we were in the development stages and really commit and have made themselves available through all of our growth in this too. So it goes to from at all layers and all levels, and really are committed to supporting kids where they are and helping them enjoy where we live. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And Ms. Brown, I know you have to go for other engagements, but I just want to remind folks while we're talking to our APC chair that our APC meeting is tonight at 5:30 p.m. It will stream live on this very same YouTube channel. So you're welcome to log in and join us and hear from the board that oversees STrEAM Academy and our illustrious chair. Thank you, Ms. Brown. All right, back to you, Ms. Bonertz. Let's talk about PEAKS testing and what's coming down the pipe for that that wonderful thing that we do every spring.
Right. So PEAKS testing is happening this year. So starting on March 29th, we will start PEAKS testing. We are going to be testing each grade level at a time. So just an FYI for everybody, Mondays, March 29th, April 5th, April 7 + 5, the following April 12th.
12th?
Yes.
12th, yeah.
April 12th, 5th, and March 29th, those 3 Mondays, our 8th graders will be PEAKS testing. The Tuesday, March 30th, April 6th, our 7th graders will be PEAKS testing. And then Thursday, April 1st and April 8th, our 6th graders will be testing. 8th graders do have 3 tests, whereas 6th and 7th graders have 2. What's unique this year about PEAKS testing, because of COVID protocols and because of our excellent health and safety plan, we want to keep everyone safe. That's our main goal for 4th quarter, is to keep everyone safe. So we will not be allowing makeups. If your student is ill, sick, cough, headache, whatever, we still want them to stay home. The priority is for them to stay safe, but we are not going to be doing makeups. So if your student misses just the reading, that's okay. They'll still take the math, or vice versa. So keep that in mind. Those are the dates. Once again, Monday, the March 29th, April 5th, April 12th will be 8th grade. 7th grade will be Tuesday, March 30th, April 6th, and 7th grade will be Tuesdays, 6th grade will be Thursday, April 1st, April 8th. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please let us know. We'll send out reminders, but PEAKS testing starting at the end of March.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Bonertz. Appreciate that. Any other questions for our counselor while we're here with her? All right. Awesome. Thanks for bringing these two programs forward and highlighting Steller and Highland today.
Oh, sorry.
And-
One more thing, Mr.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Those of you who are thinking about East has they had an open house last night, and they have another open house tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. All of the 8th graders have been given that Zoom information, and you can also find it on East's website. Thank
Yes, definitely. Yeah. STrEAM had our open house. If anyone is looking at our program, in the lottery, and there's a link to that on our website, and it's on this same YouTube channel. And you can go on and watch the open house and see those presentations as well. Awesome. And that, of course, brings me to this reminder once again that the online lottery is open, but it closes tomorrow. Is it 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., Ms. Beyondich? I'm not sure if I misspoke. I know it closes.
The lottery closes at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Lottery closes March 18th at 5 o'clock. And then the lottery will roll on the 19th. There's some technical stuff that happens behind the scenes, and parent notifications go out on March 26th.
Yes. Also remind folks not to panic. If you miss the lottery, and this is for STrEAM families, I can't speak to how other schools operate. For our families, if you missed the deadline on the 18th tomorrow, call us and talk to us. We may be able to help you with that. Sometimes parents think they applied and the application got hung up. Mrs. Beyondich just went through the lottery system yesterday and found 3 families that had an application that wasn't complete and submitted, and called them and helped them to finalize that. So don't panic if you happen to miss that deadline of the 18th. We may be able to help you still. And then when you get notifications on the 26th, if you don't get a seat and you are waitlisted initially on the 26th, also don't panic. Also wait and then call us and see where you're at. We have every year we start with a we started with a wait list, and students move up that wait list. Miss Brown, are you signing off? Goodbye. So don't panic if you don't initially get that seat. There's a lot of shuffling that happens and a lot of change that happens, and waitlist students get moved up and get moved into seats all the time. So just communicate with us, call us, email us, and we'll walk you through everything.
That's right. There's also a second lottery that happens after the year rolls. So in the end of July, a second lottery will run. So if you missed getting an application in to Highland or Steller or to us or to any school that's outside of your neighborhood designation, then you have another chance if you've missed this lottery.
Yes.
And we need to answer a few questions. One of our students asked, how will students staying virtual do peaks testing? Ms. Bonertz, can you speak to that?
Students who are virtual will not be testing for peaks. We will only be testing in the building, so they will be exempt from testing.
Good question. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat.
That's okay. Ms. Bonertz also added into the chat, which you can't see on YouTube, that East High School's open house is Thursday, March 18th at 6 o'clock. And Bartlett High School's open house is Tuesday, March 23rd at 6 o'clock. And if you've missed that, just give us a call and we'll share that information with you, or you can call the counselors at East or Bartlett.
Thank you. We also had a question about windows being open in our classrooms. My understanding is our teachers are planning on keeping windows open for increased air circulation at all pretty much all the time. That's a great one to bring up. Thank you, Renee. Any other questions? Did we have any other questions? All right, the lottery is open and closes tomorrow. Notifications will go out in a couple of weeks, and just stay in touch with us about that. All right. We promise to touch base every Wednesday on our return to in-person learning and our plans for fourth quarter. And we have done everything in our power to communicate what our plans are and what that looks like with folks, and sending out emails and stuff on the app. And you can go to our website. our social media. So we were really trying hard to keep folks informed. And I know it's a lot of information, and what we're doing is different than regular schools. So that's a little confusing. So I understand that. Don't hesitate to call us and just we can still talk you through what everything looks like. So this week, remember this first week back, this first week of fourth quarter, we kept our APC elected to keep us virtual. And I understand that ASD secondary is back fully face-to-face at we're a charter school. So we have some autonomy in how we operate, and our APC really recognized the value of having this first week stay virtual for all of our teachers to be back in the building. All of our teachers are working in the building this week for the first time, and we are doing induction week lessons. So we are very intentionally walking all of our students through what it looks like to come back in person. So part of the reason to stay virtual this week and then return in person next week is that induction week. So yesterday I sat in on some lessons with Mr. Holsapple and Mr. Beer, and they went over in detail the schedule and broke down what the schedule will be like, what passing time will look like, what breaks will look like, how you come into the building and how you'll exit the building, what items you can bring with you and what items you can't bring with you. And all of those details, Mr. Holsapple and Ms. Kodelman took on a huge task of designing and planning that induction week. And they recorded videos. Students will get video introductions to the building and to our processes and procedures. So this week's STrEAM is virtual. Some of you have reached out and said, hey, why are you doing this? What's the reason? And so a big reason is to ease that transition, to not have that sudden transition, to ease that transition back to in-person, to ease our teachers, to get them comfortable all working in the building, to do all of this training and preparation with kids before they're here in person, to really prep our students for being back in person. It's not something that would have been wise to do at the end of third quarter, because A, the end of third quarter, you're doing finals and wrapping up grades and finishing up your third quarter classes, and B, there's spring break. So the end of third quarter till the start of second quarter, there's a 10-day, actually 11-day break. So what we know about middle schoolers is if we told them all of this stuff about how it will be in person 11 days earlier, then when they came in, it wouldn't have all stuck necessarily. We also, to be honest, wanted this buffer of a week between spring break and all of our students being here in person. We wanted to have this buffer because we know that families and kids and even staff may travel over spring break, may be out in the community, may be out doing things that increases our risks of exposure. And so we really wanted to have this buffer for that when we came back. So that's what we're doing this week. Today, we're on our first new virtual Wednesday schedule. Students will Zoom into classes on Wednesdays now. We'll have Zoom classes every Wednesday. So our Wednesdays look different. Our Wednesdays stay virtual. Students stay home for Wednesday. Staff will be in the building. Classes are virtual. They're on Zoom. Starting next week, starting on Monday, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., all of our students are back in person with us here at school. So that's the big day. Monday next week is our big day. Parents, please have a lot of patience and a lot of grace as we will have students lining up outside of our 3 separate entrances, waiting to go into the building because we can't have them all congregated in the lobby in the morning. Please drop off as close to 8 as you can. So we're saying the doors are going to open at 7:55. So we really don't want students standing outside, especially it might be cold. We don't want them standing outside at 7:30 if possible. We want them dropped off 7:45, 7:50, that range. So bear with us and be patient on those first 2 days, and we'll be back in person on March 22nd, and we're super excited about that. Remember that families do have the option to stay to keep students home in our STrEAM hybrid program. Our staff will continue to put their lessons and their assignments and things on Canvas. We'll continue to use Canvas for the remainder of the year for that, and we have about 10 students who are electing at this point to stay with us and stay in our hybrid program. So they will just be working independently on their classes at home. And then on Wednesdays, they'll be joining those Zoom classes. Those Zoom classes on Wednesdays are mandatory. Right now, today, every Wednesday, the rest of the year, we do expect all students to log into Zoom. We are taking attendance. We do need, whether you're in person or hybrid, we do need you there on Zoom for your classes. All right, can I answer any questions, or is there anything else I should talk about with our fourth quarter plans and our in-person schedule? Did I miss anything, Ms. Bonertz or Ms. Beyondich?
I don't think you missed anything. And of course, parents, community members, students can always call 742-9000 and we will answer any questions that you have.
Yes. Mrs. Beyondich is awesome about that. All right, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to you, Mrs. Beyondich, to take off your admin assistant, trustee sidekick, and radio show co-host hat and put on your Anchorage, your STrEAM Anchorage 501c3 nonprofit board member hat. You do that quick switch for us and tell us about the STrEAM Anchorage 501c3 and these fundraisers, these money raising initiatives that you guys have going, because it's pretty incredible.
I know, I am super excited about our 501c3. Has really been working very hard to try to raise money for the school, potentially for a building, for our cross-country ski program, and just for general maintenance and making sure that we have the funds to pay for our post office box and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna screen share Principal Mokelke, so if you wanna stop screen sharing. We have a slideshow, a small slideshow that we have prepared for students, but I'm gonna share it with you. Is that what you're seeing right now? So the spring fundraisers are being put on by Anchorage or STrEAM Anchorage 501c3. STrEAM Anchorage 501c3 is the fundraising arm for Anchorage STREAM Academy. There are 5 people right now who are working very hard to make sure that we can support our school. We have 2 fundraisers that we have planned in the immediate future. Pitas for a Purpose on March 28th, which we have been talking about for a couple of weeks now. And then our online basket auction, which we've been hinting about. So the first fundraiser is Pitas for a Purpose, which happens on Sunday, March 28th at any Anchorage Pita Pit location. And there are 3 in Anchorage. If you go and purchase or tell someone that you know to go and purchase a pita or a bowl at any Anchorage Pita Pit location, 10% of all of those proceeds that they make in Anchorage will come back to Anchorage STREAM Academy. Pitas for a Purpose is a program that Anchorage Pita Pit has developed because of the need to help support local nonprofits. And every Sunday in the winter months, they support a different nonprofit. And they finished their season this year on March 28th, supporting STREAM Anchorage and Anchorage STREAM Academy. The second fundraiser that the 501c3 team is doing is a basket auction. We attempted to do a basket auction last year and COVID got in the way and we had to cancel that. So we have redesigned the basket auction. Instead of being a silent auction in person, it's going to be an event that's online. The auction will go live in 2 different phases, beginning April 30th, and then culminating with a Facebook Live event on May 14th. We are getting baskets donated by the community and donated by our classroom cohorts. So pretty soon, parents are going to start getting information from their kiddo as their kiddos learn more about this, about the baskets that their cohort is making. And the classrooms get to design their basket themes and then get help. And then we're also seeking donations from the community. We have several baskets that have already been pledged to us. I've got 2 sitting in the front office right now and 1 on my dining room table. We'll take beautiful pictures of these. A photographer on our board is going to take pictures of these and then get them posted, and we'll get more information out to you as we design the online auction. If you are interested in creating a basket, please give me a call. We have several parent meetings scheduled as well. So how the cohort baskets get made is the cohorts choose a theme. They get a classroom parent or volunteer to organize the donations and to assemble the baskets. They advertise, they tell everyone they know about their wonderful baskets, and then they start bringing stuff in for their themed basket. The parent volunteer will pick up the items, assemble the basket, and return it to the front office for our 501 team to pick up and photograph, and then our auction will go live. The first phase of the auction will go live with community baskets on April 30th, and then classroom baskets on May 7th. Everything culminating on May 14th with a Facebook Live event. So we tell our students, choose your theme wisely and be creative, because the cohort whose basket receives the most bids in the auction, not raises the most money, but gets the most bids, is going to win a class party. We don't actually know what that class party looks like because we have to design it with COVID protocols in mind, but they're going to get some sort of a prize, and we're excited about that for the classroom. But wait, there's more. We tell the kids, Emily, we try to, sorry about that. The 501c3 and the school both want to make sure that everything that we do is community minded. And so we are creating a special basket that students can put in tickets for, community members can put in tickets for, and the special door prize basket is going to be awarded on May 14th. To be an engaged citizen is part of the mission of Anchorage STrEAM Academy. And so we're going to help to embolden students to become engaged citizens by participating in this pantry packs for families in need. Now, a pantry pack is a bag with a value of $10 that students can pick up, families in need can pick up if they need food in their home. And those items if they donate one of these line items, like 4 fruit cups or 4 cereal cups or 2 fruit cups and 2 cans of soup, they get a ticket to win that door prize basket, that special door prize basket. So this is the community engagement portion of our fundraiser. So the auction again starts on April 30th, May 7th, and then culminates on May 14th. More information is going to go out pretty soon to families from our 501c3 team and from our classroom teachers. Are there any questions?
That's awesome. I can't wait to get my pitas from Pita Pit on March 28th and make sure I encourage everyone else to go to an Anchorage Pita Pit location, get that 10% kickback. That's pretty cool. I hope the entire STrEAM family and community out there is eating Pita Pit on the 28th. I'm excited about the baskets. Our admin team, Miss Beyondich, or not Miss, sorry, Miss Bonertz and Miss Gatlin and I are, we're doing our admin team basket of charcuterie. So we're pretty excited about what awesome things will go in there. And I know there's just some really cool baskets that are being designed for folks to bid on, and we're excited for that auction. I'll be bidding on those baskets. We'll have to see if you can outbid me. Thank you, Ms. Beyondich. Let's see what we have next. I'm going to go back to my slides. Are you seeing my slides now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, good. All right. Technology is being our friend this morning. Right, Mrs. Beyondich.
Yeah, I always breathe a big sigh of relief. Okay, my AA hat's back on now.
Yes, yes. So thank you for that awesome update from our 501c3, our nonprofit, and we are super appreciative. We have other members of our nonprofit board that's separate from our APC board that are with us today. Mrs. Yip, are you on the APC or on the nonprofit board as well?
Yes.
Yes, Mrs. Yip, who's on both boards because she's amazing, is with us. Good morning. And Melissa Reed, who is a STrEAM parent, an original STrEAM parent. Miss Reed had a student join us in our very first year and still has students with us. Too bad you guys don't have some more young ones coming up. I wish you and Joe did, but
we're working on our neighbors and our my nephew.
Perfect. Miss Reed is on our 501c3 board as well, so I wanted to shout her out and say thank you. So awesome. The next thing I wanted to touch base on is Ski Club and let Mr. Mosen talk a little bit. Just a Ski Club, Mr. Mosen and Mr. Perkins did an incredible job pulling together a ski club, during COVID and kind of working through how that would look to have kids together. And that's gone so well that Mr. Mosen has requested they do an extension or sort of a phase 2, whether it's skiing or sort of an outdoor club. And so we're looking at that right now. And I wanted to give him a chance to talk about Ski Club and then what phase 2 of this might look like. Go ahead, Mr. Mosen.
Thanks. I have to thank Sylvia again, Ms. Beyondich, for her amazing fundraising energy. I've done a lot of fundraising, and I hope we don't lose her to somebody who needs it. I mean, she's such an incredible fundraiser. It's amazing. And a lot of that benefits our outdoor activities. There's no bad weather. People say just bad gear. And middle school students don't even need gear. They need to be outside so badly. And it's so obvious. When we opened up an opportunity for them to try out after school club last quarter, I think we had everybody wanted to do it, and we had 24 students who did make it happen with our excellent parents and parent volunteers. So I just want to do it again. And Mr. Perkins and I are thinking Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting next week. We got to work out the details. This would be daunting, except the support I get from Principal Mokalki and Ms. Beyondich makes it possible. So we'll just spread the word in our classes. And the skiing will be good for another 3 weeks, says Coach Mosen. But there's an option for just outdoor adventures in general if the snow falls apart. But this has been an epic snow year. And STrEAM is nimble enough to take advantage of the what's happening outdoors. So really excited about doing more of that.
And thank you, Mr. Mosen, for the energy you've put into starting and building our ski program. Last year was our first year having real sports programs, middle school sanctioned sports programs at STrEAM Academy with cross-country running and cross-country skiing. And Mr. Mosen took on our athletic director position basically, and really helped to build up our sports programs and get those started. And then of course, getting hit with the curveball of a pandemic and how to try to keep our sports, our outdoor education sports programs alive has been a challenge, and he's met that challenge. So thank you for what you've done, Mr. Mosen. All right, next week on Morning Coffee, we have local author Dante Medema coming on. She's the author of The Truth Project. It's an awesome book for middle school, young adults, written in verse. My daughter Lily loved it. She's not a huge reader, not one of those kids that really loves reading yet, and she loved this book. she said, Dad, can you find me more books like that? Can you get me more books like that? I don't think she's ever asked me that before. And so I actually talked to Dante and said, hey, what other authors are writing in verse and with your style? And she gave me some other suggestions. And so I know Dante has a new book in the works. And so maybe we'll be one of the first groups to get like a sneak preview of what her new book will be. This is one, we have copies at STrEAM if people want to check them out. And I think we have 4 or 5 copies and we recommend it. So Dante Medema will be with us next week. Also our 8th grade team asked for some time for 8th graders to present their projects, some great examples of project-based learning. So we'll also have 8th grade project presentations. So an incredible morning coffee lineup next week. Don't miss it. That was just some info on the book and on Dante Medema. Really an interesting. Also, it's a book that sort of incorporates project-based learning. Because the sort of the plot is moved along by a middle school student, a young teenage girl who is doing a project, a school project on DNA and genealogy and family tree type of a thing, and then make some discoveries about herself and her her family and her history that really launches her into this personal exploration. So incorporates project-based learning. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's a high school student. The main character is a high school student, but this book is still
high school stuff.
Very appropriate for 7th and 8th graders to read, and just very well written and engaging and beautiful. So I highly recommend this book as well.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely recommend it. It's a cool book, and we're looking forward to having local author, Anchorage author Dante Medema come on and talk about her writing process, maybe talk about her next book, hopefully. So should be super cool. The 8th graders presenting their projects, I'm super excited about that. That will be just awesome. What Miss Goodman and Miss Smith have done this year, despite the challenges of teaching virtually in a pandemic, what they've done to incorporate everything that they do and teach into project-based learning and facilitate students doing projects is just incredible. I mean, just an amazing job. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the fruits of some of those projects presented next week. That about takes us to the end of morning coffee today. Do we have any questions or thoughts or good of the order, anything else that we need to touch base on before we say goodbye to our YouTube audience and close that feed down and wrap up here?
Just another quick reminder that there's an academic policy committee and APC board meeting tonight at 5:30 on this same YouTube channel. If you are interested in making a public testimony, please call the school and I will get you the Zoom information and get you on the schedule. You have until 3 o'clock today to get on the schedule. That will go live at 5:30 tonight. And then tomorrow, STrEAM Anchorage 501c3 has their meeting. It's a work session meeting. If you are interested in fundraising, you can definitely Zoom in with us. We would definitely welcome that. And then we have 2 parent meetings that are on our schedule. STrEAM Anchorage is hosting for parent volunteers the following 2 Mondays. So Monday the 29th and Monday the 7th. So we'll be able to help our parent volunteers with any information that they might need. The 501c3 meeting is tomorrow at 5 o'clock and should be about 60 minutes, maybe a little bit less. It's not going to be very long. It's just a work session to iron out some more details toward our fundraising.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Bionich. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful morning coffee. Thanks to everyone who joined us today. Please feel free to log in tonight at 5:30 for the APC meeting. Stay in touch with our 501c3 fundraising efforts. The lottery closes tomorrow. If you have a student that's looking at coming to STrEAM, you've got 24 hours or a little more to get that lottery application in. Any questions at all, call us and we'll talk you through and walk you through things. If you have an 8th grader and you haven't looked at programs yet, we strongly encourage you to take a look at Steller and Highland. East's open house is tonight. Check that out. Lots of things happening. Back to school in person on Monday, the 22nd, and we're looking forward to that. So with that, we're going to sign off and say goodbye. I want to remind you and encourage you all to get outside every day and enjoy the beautiful Alaskan weather and winters. Go out and enjoy the snow, get out in your community, and just go out and make the world a better place one day at a time. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a great morning.